deep autumn versus deep winter. A mildly contrasting color type that stands out with at least two vivid appearance elements is often referred to as dark or deep autumn. This type can also be called a sweet November, since the palette of its tones lies on the border between autumn and winter color palette. Autumn usually has muted, warm colors, but the shades that distinguish women of the deep autumn subtype cannot be completely called as such. These are very noticeable beauties. Their appearance has been influenced by winter, which means that although the colors of the deep autumn are rich and deep, they are brighter and cooler than the soft autumn tones. Differences between deep autumn versus deep winter. Belonging to late autumn is especially difficult to determine, as winter steps in and it all gets blended. It's the most controversial color palette because there is no very vivid and clear transition. This transition is also feathered out. Most often you cannot spot a very clear evidence of autumn or winter, meaning deep autumn and deep winter. As a reminder, these are both transitional color palettes, jumping to one another all the time, depending on how you change throughout the year, time, and age. If we overlay the autumn palette with winter, you will see some similarities and differences simultaneously. This is because the depth of color can make it difficult to understand and determine if an appearance expresses warmth or coolness, since it is a transitional type on the color palette chart. By default, we determine that deep autumn belongs to a warm color palette and deep winter to a cold one. But the main difference here is the intensity and the brightness of the color, plus the undertone of conglomerated shades. What do I mean by that? Deep autumn colors are very rich, meaning that the intensity of the richness of the color is going to its highest peak. On top of that, it will have a warm, dark undertone. On the other hand, deep winter will have a dark but cold undertone with a higher brightness intensity, so it will lean towards the basic color. And I will remind you that there are 5 basic colors: white, black, red, yellow, and blue. Here I took one color from each color palette and broke those down into individual conglomerates, because we need to know where the color comes from and why it will or will not suit the person of each seasonal color palette. The deep autumn color consisted of orange, the secondary color, which was created from red and yellow on the color chart, and as an undertone we see the admixture of brown. Brown can be created of many different colors as cold and warm, but the admixture of orange and blue has created this specific one. We see the majority of the admixture of shades comes with a warm temperature. Orange is red plus yellow, and brown, orange plus blue. There we have a mutation of warm temperatures that resulted in the deep autumn undertone. The same goes for the deep winter conglomerate of shades. We see that the undertone has been created by adding the black color, not brown as previously. So the difference between deep autumn versus deep winter is the admixture of a brown color undertone for autumn and a black color undertone for winter. And black is a cold basic color by default. And what about the brightness and muted tonalities? The contrast will play the most crucial role here. The other difference between deep autumn and deep winter is that the autumn has a rather mildly medium contrast, and the later one will see a high contrast. This is where the brightness of the color comes in handy. Appearance of deep autumn color type. Representatives of deep autumn will be Priyanka Chopra and Zendaya here. A woman of this color is the owner of bright and dark hair, usually chestnut or chocolate shades. The eyes can be deep brown, almost black, but there are also green-eyed beauties as well. The skin will likely have a tan, perhaps even a bronze tone, but not necessarily. Deep autumn is more contrasting than the other autumn subtypes, and this is similar to winter, but it gives out a softer, warm skin tone. At the same time, there is a slightly yellowish golden hue, as if a reddish tone and fiery red shades are hidden in the hair. The skin is even and pleasant in color, beige, peach, ivory beige, and freckles if any. They could be warm and dark in color, not too flashy. If autumn girls still decide on fashionable experiments, warm blonde, chestnut, chocolate shades with a reddish copper or golden tint are more suitable for them. Deep autumn color type wardrobe. When choosing clothes for an autumn woman wardrobe, prefer natural and high quality fabrics that are beautifully draped with soft folds like silk, velvet, tweed, wool, cotton, fur, leather. National motifs and patterns are appropriate on clothes and accessories for the deep autumn subtype. Oriental style, large accessories made of gold, natural stones, wood, leather, tassels on clothes and decorations are combined with the general style of autumn type. Red, yellow, and golden colors can be represented especially widely, like wheat, plum, peach, red eggplant, sand, blackberry, salmon, terracotta, burgundy, and many more. Let's pay a special attention to this copper and mustard yellow color, as this color will not suit just anybody. If Priyanka looks stunning in this outfit, a representative of the deep winter will have a difficulty pulling it off. There is high intensity of the warm temperature, and it is obvious that the cold seasons will not be up to the task for this color. It is better to bet on coral shades, avoiding cold pink tones. Good combinations are obtained in green colors like emerald, marsh, khaki, olive green with yellowish shades of white, milky, creamy, ivory with gold, yellow, copper, crimson, and red. As we see, Zendaya looks absolutely gorgeous in all autumn greens like olive green and emerald, but the colder teal green goes a little off. It is obvious that she belongs to a warm season that makes her look much better. The blue color can also be present in the wardrobe of late autumn. These are dark blue tones, milky blue, azure with warm tones as well, if muted, softened and saturated with the sunny shades. Here we can spot the big difference in how the muted cold summer blue really made her whole appearance go grayish, and it is not even remotely as good as the electric blue or the deep rich navy blue. Pure cold, neon pink and purple should be left behind. The color can overlap the natural beauty because it strikes the naked eye with its brightness. Look how much better Priyanka looks in deep, rich, raspberry calm shades. The whole complexion stands out and the face becomes calmer. To accentuate an even complexion and set off the eye and hair color favorably, choose basic things in dark brown, rich greens, and reddish tones of their muted variations. And for the contrast, we can see how neon colors hit the eye of the viewer and completely destroys the holistic image. The same goes for cold colors like summer with the obvious admixture of grayness. The same goes for winter like bright colors for autumn women. For autumn women to go well with it, they need to change the skin's temperature and even add up heavily on the makeup and maybe even intensify the hair color. Deep winter color type. Nazanin Boniadi will be used as a deep winter example. So the winter color type is divided into calm, cold, and warm winter, deep and clean, contrasting and non-contrasting. The woman of the deep winter color type conquers with her appearance, playing on contrasts, which are high. Black and dark brown hues represent the hair and brown shades of their eyes. The skin of deep winter is beige, bronze, and the fair ivory skin with grayish palette will also be found. The main advantages of this color type include its brightness and at the same time softness. So the black and white color scheme is exceptionally suitable for dark winter women, making the accents even brighter, especially if in sheer or heavy and leather-like fabrics. And of course, women with the color type of winter have amazing beauty. They combine the touchiness of Snow White and the stateliness of the Snow Queen, tenderness and sexuality. The color palette for winter presents the coldest and clearest shades from various tones. For example, pink in all cold manifestations is suitable for this appearance. My favorite one is the bright hot pink one, just what a winter woman needs, unlike autumn, which needs to stay away from such colors completely. The summer tones go well with her cold and bright undertone as well, but the warm pink is really calming her down. In my opinion, absolutely unnecessary here. So the blue color is perfect for these women, especially if it reveals itself in deep and rich tones of ultramarine, indigo, and pervenche. Be careful with brown autumn colors. Only cold and very dark shades can make the right accents here. However, we see that the admixture of the warm autumn palette brings an undesirable effect on his skin. And thank you so much for staying here with me. I hope this information was useful for you. Please don't forget to subscribe, put a like, and see you in the next episode.